always with it, Congressman McBath, just like your precious son Jordan.
Is anybody watching Biden speak right now?
Becomes a piece of you. You know, how many times did you all?
I'm really having a hard time following along. I'm not joking.
What would Jill want? What would, you know, whatever it is.
This has got to be one of his
And for everyone out there who has lost a piece of their soul,
most confusing rambles.
and all through the pain, I think you can find purpose. Find purpose. Purpose of a life that makes you.
Joe,
In their lives. What they expect.
bro, are you in there? Joe? Whoa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Cheers, it's freaking Thursday, February 3rd, 2022. It's getting easier now. And I'm looking today at some headlines. Holy goodness gracious. So there was a shooting on a bus, a Greyhound bus in California. So it doesn't matter where you are. Be careful. The Potato and the Chief just spoke. I guess it was a national prayer breakfast that he just spoke at. And he's headed to New York City to meet with Mayor Adams and the tyrant Hochul, Kat, I call her now, to talk about crime and Biden's plans for crime. Really interested to see what happens there. So apparently Biden ordered a strike last night. Top Islamic State terrorist killed when his suicide vest exploded during a U.S. raid in Syria. Biden's going to speak on that next. That's his next agenda. He's got a busy day today. I don't know when he's going to fit in pudding time. Then they got to actually fit in the diaper changes. And he's going to be in New York State. And then he's going to be on a plane. It's a tough day. A very, very full day for the Potato and Chief. So the second storm coming in. A third of our nation is under warnings. Right now we got Texas and a bunch of snow. They don't know how to really handle snow down there. A lot of them don't know how to drive in it. And the last time this happened, like, heaters stopped working and they didn't know how to keep warm and all that stuff. So keep warm and be safe. And if you don't know how to drive in snow and icy conditions, don't. Because you will regret it. Trees are falling. Iguanas were falling in Florida. They're not used to these temperatures. Apparently iguanas can freeze and fall and stay still and kind of mimic being dead. And then when they warm back up, they just fucking run away. I didn't know that. Now I know. Dallas-Fort Worth Airport's closed until about noonish. They need to clear things up. So that means airports going into or coming out are also having capacity issues and flight delays. Memphis, Tennessee has heavy ice. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. And it's coming to New York. It should hit New York tonight into tomorrow. Right now it's too warm here to snow, so it's just raining. But when that turns to snow, we gotta watch the hell out. I'll be back.
Let's talk Trudeau. He deserves a shame video every day until he meets with the convoy. Because you know what he's doing? He's framing this whole thing to be that the extremist right-wing truckers are trying to intimidate him. See, he says he will not be intimidated. But Trudeau, that's not the point here. They're not being hateful. They're not being violent. They're trying to get your attention so that they can make a point to you. But what you're doing to them is mental and emotional abuse to the public of Canada. You are gaslighting everybody. These people kept the world moving in 2020. You owe them at least 5 minutes of your time. Incorrect views shouldn't be spoken. This freedom convoy is racist, misogynist, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, anti-Semitic. Did I mention racist and misogynistic? But I still can't figure out how it's transphobic and homophobic. He's just grasping at every ism and straw that he can get in the phobia sense to try to get his point across that it's a small fringe minority and there's less than 1,000 people up at that border. No, there's thousands of people up at that border. And it's not a small thing. But apparently he's headed south with his family because he doesn't want to deal with it. Or he's intimidated or needs to get out because he doesn't want Dude, they're feeding the homeless up there. Somebody did something to a statue, like put a sign on it or something, and they went and took it off. Like, they're not allowing shit to happen up there. This is the least violent protest I've ever seen in my entire life with this many people. They got very few options as far as news sources up there. So they have government news source, and then they have small other news sources, and then they have independent news sources. So our First Amendment and the internet has been huge in making people realize, or letting people get the correct information and let people know what this Freedom Convoy is really about. By the way, there's a Jew and law enforcement that's on the command center. Yes, they have a command center. They're very organized. So don't tell me anti-Semitic bullshit. Fuck off, Trudeau. No. If it weren't for an open and free internet, nobody would know the truth about this, and even Canadians would be left in the dark about what's happening. America definitely would be left in the dark. This convoy would only be known as the fascist, racist, blah, blah, blah bullshit. It's not phobic anything. That's why it's so important to keep our First Amendment intact and not to punish people for using the First Amendment, even if they are doing it in a very ignorant and uneducated way. That's why I don't really agree with cancel culture very much at all. Unless you're hurting kids or raping and kidnapping women, threatening harm on people. Other than that, get thicker skin. Because the truth wouldn't be told about this convoy if we didn't have the free internet and free speech. So we can't have this censored. First Amendment. Let's go! Hello, how you doing? This is just a little special report. This is a college, a university, state university in upstate New York. Listen to what this son of a bitch has got to say. Just listen.
Doc, we need your help. Stephen Kirschner, SUNY Fredonia professor. Just watch the video.
Imagine that an adult male wants to have sex with a 12-year-old girl. Imagine that she's a willing participant. A very standard, very widely held view that there's something deeply wrong about this, and it's wrong independent of it being criminalized. It's not obvious to me that is in fact wrong. I think this is a mistake, and I think that exploring why it's a mistake will tell us not only things about adult-child sex and statutory rape, but also about fundamental principles of morality.
But wait, it gets worse.
Threshold. I'm making this number up, but let's say it's at age 8. Still, that tells you that some adult-child sex is permissible. Second, the notion that it's wrong even with a 1-year-old is not quite obvious to me. There are reports in some cultures of grandmothers filleting the baby boys to calm them down when they colicky. Now, I don't know if it's true, but this is sort of widely reported as occurring in at least one culture. And it working, that the grandmothers believe this actually works. If this were to be true, again, I don't know it to be true. If it were to be true, it's hard to see what would be wrong with it. So, yeah, I guess I think, no, I don't think there's a blanket period beyond which this is permissible. If we're interested in willing participation, which is the way I structured it, then yeah, there's a point below which people aren't willing participants in anything because they don't have intentions or they don't have the sort of mental states that allow for willing participation. But no,
I'm sorry, what did he just say? Did he just admit that it was okay to have sex with a 1-year-old if it calms him down? What the fuck? The age consent is 17 to 18 years old in New York State. Not 1, not 8, not 12. But it gets even better. Here's some of the articles he's published. The moral status of harmless adult-child sex, pedophilia and adult-child sex, a philosophical analysis, and rape fantasies and virtue. Excuse me, what? They're still letting this man teach.
Are you kidding me with this shit? Did you just hear that?